Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today we're back in my office for another picture's worth 1,000 words. And this one's kind of important because it has to do with things we're planning for in the future. This November is the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States Marine Corps, which happened right across the river from where we are in Philadelphia. This fall, there's going to be a huge celebration in the greater Philadelphia-Camden area of the 250th anniversaries of the founding of the Navy and Marine Corps. The Navy's founded in October, Marine Corps follows in November of 1775. So this is 250th anniversary of that happening. And so there's an organization, Navy Marine Corps 250, which is putting together a huge celebration in partnership with the Navy and the Marines. It's going to include basically a fleet week. So several vessels important to the Navy and Marines are going to come up to Philadelphia. They're going to dock on both sides of the river. Some of them will be here in Camden, some of them will be across the way in Philadelphia. They're going to join ships like Olympia and Bakuna across the river and New Jersey right here. And we're going to celebrate this important anniversary. As part of the preparations for that, Battleship New Jersey is working on opening up another one of our critical Marine spaces. One of the main berthing spaces for the Marines down on third deck at the aft end of Broadway, one of the two large berthing compartments for the enlisted Marines down on the aft end of Broadway has recently been painted by an Eagle Scout project, and it's on our very short list of spaces to open to the public. So we're working on interpreting that space and coming up with an exhibit in there, which included going through the collection space to see what we already have related to the Marines, try to find some documentation of what that space would have looked like in active service. That'll help us with the restoration and interpretation of that space going forward. Obviously, we would like this project to be finished by this fall when we're going to be celebrating the Marines. Wouldn't a nice new exhibit on Marines be a good idea? So we found the collection of Corporal Arthur Avita. He was a corporal when he served on the battleship around 1986, 1987. I believe he leaves the ship around 1988. So he's part of the ship's Marine detachment at that time. We know he goes on to make at least sergeant. I can't say for certain if he, which level of sergeant he makes. Just know that I'm going to refer to him as Corporal Avito because that was his rating when he was on the ship, but he did attain higher ranks. As part of his collection, you might see a box of stuff behind me that I was just going through. We also have this fantastic photo collection, which only features a little bit of nudity in it. So over the next couple of months, as we're getting ready for this, we're going to come back to this collection and other Marine collections to talk about them. In the meantime, I'm wearing one of our Battleship New Jersey Marine Detachment, or MARDET, hats. This is something that we just got in the ship's store. If you're interested in picking one up, former Marines out there, there's a link in the description below. So for today's video, I'm just going to pick one of the pictures in this collection. We're going to talk about it, and then stay tuned for future videos. And over the next several months, we'll cover some more of this. So for the first picture we're going to talk about here, I've selected this one right here, which has a lot of cool stuff in it. This collection is really great because it's one of the few collections of photographs we have from former sailors of this ship that shows their berthing spaces, like their leisure activities, and that's really great for restoring that space. And of course, that's not the one that my eye was originally drawn to. We've been talking a lot recently about the types of firearms that are on the battleship. So this picture right here really jumped out at me because we've got these lists of all the small arms that the ship was issued, but that's for ship's company. The Marine detachment comes with their own small arms, and you can really see that right here. It was very common when the battleship went into port for them to do open houses on board, to have the local population come through. And so they set up all sorts of displays. And I suspect that's what we're seeing right here. This is at the extreme aft end of the ship, center line, just forward of the flight deck, in that area where the triple ventilator is, where you got the flight deck, and then you got the 2 ramps going down to the flight deck. There's that area in the middle. That's where they've got this set up right now. And so right off the bat, you can see they've got one of the ship's 50 cal machine guns on a tripod standing up there. The Marines, of course, are providing shipboard security. So when those weapons are manned, it would be the Marines doing that. Also present in this picture, you can see the M81 woodland pattern, the God's plaid whoopee down there, the nylon blankets that the Marines would have used. The whoopee or poncho liner is a really great piece of gear if any of you guys do camping. Pick one of those up surplus. It's a great thing to have. Very interesting. Some of the pictures of berthing spaces here show these on the beds in place of the wool blankets that are traditionally in other berthing spaces. So I had been planning on picking up something like 40 blankets for the space, but now I'm going to go and pick up whoopies instead. And that's such a more appropriate thing for the Marines anyway. You can see there's an M16A2 on here, which is the standard small arm of the U.S. military at the time. There's also an M16 with an M203 slung under it, and you can see a couple of the 40 millimeter grenades laid out alongside. You can see the bayonet there. You can see they've got an M60 pig out with this display. So that's interesting that they're using the M60s and not the M240s or 249s or any of the smaller 5.56 rounds that use any of the smaller 5.56 squad automatic weapons that match the same ammunition as the M16s. Interestingly, they've also got an M14 out there. The M14s are what Ship's Company had. However, the Marine Armory has about 50% M14s and 50% M16s. So I'm not entirely sure if only half of the Marine detachment would have been about 80 Marines at this point, with about 3 senior enlisted personnel, NCOs, and a captain and a lieutenant as officers. So I'm not entirely certain if half of them were issued M14s, half of them got the newer M16s, or if they had both, or if the M14s were just ceremonial drill type things. Those are what you always see them holding when they're in their Class A, the nice blue uniform with the red stripe on it. So I'm not sure how much of a this is what we're going to carry when we go into Grenada thing that was, or if it was just a, this is what we're going to carry when President Reagan comes and visits the ship. And then adjacent to the poncho liner, they've got a poncho set out here, and on it they've got a lot of the typical stuff. They've got an E-tool, they've got the canteens and canteen cup. They got the Alice pack. I think that's a medium Alice pack and not a large Alice pack. They've got the Pasket helmet and vest here, the magazine pouches. So like the typical stuff they would carry. Oh yeah, they've also got a K-bar knife and a 1911 on there. Keep in mind, you guys are seeing this picture blown up on the screen. I'm looking at the original printout here. It's not blown up as big. The other cool non-Marine thing that you can see in this picture is off in the top. It'll be the right corner when you're looking at it on the screen, I think. You can see that the forklift that's back there for unrep is there. You get a really good picture. Well, I'm not sure if really good is a good description of this, but you get a good picture of some of the yellow gear we had back on the flight deck. So, really cool picture. This set here from Corporal Arthur Oviedo has some really great stuff about life on board for the Marines in the 1980s. We're excited to have it, and it's going to be a big feature of this channel for the next several months, and then it'll be a big feature of the exhibit that we have on board sometime before this fall when the Navy and Marine Corps 250th celebrations happen. Remember, in the meantime, you can pick up one of these Battleship New Jersey MARDET hats down in the ship's store. Your purchases in the store go back into the operation of the ship, so buying this supports us doing the new exhibit. We'll be able to buy those M81 God's Plaid whoobies for the beds back there. What's your favorite camouflage? Let us know in the comment section down below. I don't think we've ever come up with anything better than M81. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description if you'd like to donate to support the museum and our ongoing exhibit projects. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about the museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.